Oh man, we actually have a very big Fortnite problem on our hands, and I'm not going to beat around the bush here. I'm just going to get right to the situation. It's not a small bug and it's not a small performance issue. It's actually something much more greater than that, and it could be affecting a lot of people in the Fortnite community, especially if you play Fortnite. What am I talking about? Well, I'm actually talking about different guns in the game are actually getting different damage outputs depending on in-game frame rates, and there's been some testing on the internet to pretty much prove this is already a real thing. And also on top of that, I will leave links in the description if you want more proof to prove that this is already a thing in Fortnite that people just discovered. It looks like, for instance, if you have the original or the regular assault rifle, you'll get 99.2 DPS or damage per second if the game's running at 60 frames per second. If the game's only running at 50 frames per second, you'll be doing 95.2 DPS. Now let's go to the submachine gun. If you have the submachine gun will be doing 84.7 DPS if you're running at 61 frames per second. If you're running at 60 frames per second, you'll actually be getting the full amount of DPS. So you can see this problem is actually varying all over the place depending on your frame rates. You look at the assault rifle and you may say to yourself, well, higher frame rates mean more DPS on the gun, but then I just proved that if you go to the submachine gun actually got more DPS the lower the frame rate was in game. So this whole situation is varying all over the place depending on what type of gun it is, depending on your in-game frame rates and things like this. So this is not good for the Fortnite community, because that means people who have a better performing game will actually get better DPSs in game, and people who have lower frame rates in the game could also be getting better DPSs depending on what type of gun it is. So this whole situation is not good, and people are getting disadvantages and advantages all over the place just because of different frame rates in the game and better performance, worse performance. Overall, this is not good for Fortnite, and you guys know, especially if you play on PC, everybody plays at a different performance level with different CPUs, different GPUs, and things like that. So this game's going to be all over the place when you're playing on PC. Another place you probably shouldn't play on at the very moment is the Nintendo Switch version, because the Nintendo Switch version is only playing at 30 frames per second at the very moment. And if you're thinking about playing crossplay, you probably shouldn't play crossplay until this whole situation is fixed. I'm not quite sure if this situation already been fixed from Epic, but I'm assuming Epic is going to be on this situation and probably patch this in the upcoming days. I'm assuming, or upcoming hours, because this is a very big problem in Fortnite. Even if this problem wasn't really a big problem, you still have disadvantages anyway, because frame rates usually mean you have a disadvantage over your opponent anyway, especially if you're playing on PC, because as you know, if you're playing 30 frames per second versus a 60 frames per second, typically more smoother gameplay means you're going to have a better advantage of shooting your gun and getting kills in Fortnite. But now, to top that all off, we have problems with damage output on guns depending on your frame rate in game is just not all that good. So I hope Epic Games gets on this situation as fast as possible and patches this game. What is the actual cause of this? People have been saying the actual cause might be linked to the in-game engine. Something's going on with the Unreal Engine 4. Unreal Engine 4 is causing this problem with the guns and the frame rate of it. So hopefully, like I said, they can fix this bug in the upcoming hours or upcoming days, because they need to fix this as soon as possible. Anyway, guys, this is Wayne from My Tech News, signing out.